Hey everyone, I'm Victor Dwyer, and this is the Marketing Perspective Podcast. Today, we're going to talk about the latest trends and strategies in the ever changing world of marketing. I'm your host, Victor Dwyer, and today we have David Milstein. I think I didn't mess that one up. And then David is a prominent individual in the world of business and entrepreneurship. He serves as the co-founder and chief operating officer at Cellcord, and a thriving company in the industry. But first, David, please give us a quick introduction and tell us about your latest ventures that you're working on.
For sure. So, the Walmart space, which is where we're in, is ever growing. Big focus has actually been to help a lot of sellers with the migration to potentially get into Walmart stores. It's actually something Walmart has been pushing on a lot. So we're channeling a lot of our resources to help on that front. Looking into a lot of, Walmart in store has been around for a while. So we're just kind of looking into different ways we could assist on that front, help getting brands into stores, helping them with their first retail orders, which is something that many sellers are just used to, FBA. They're not used to actually doing a real order to the store. So that's something we've been have a little bit of a focus on.
That's awesome. And yeah, starting out, I'd love to get into the people that have been selling on Amazon. What can they really expect from selling on Walmart.com if they're currently selling on Amazon right now?
Yeah, I mean that's a very very classic. People want to know what Walmart has to offer. I'll say that you definitely want to be careful with what you're getting into with Walmart. Don't if you're too niche of a product, kind of maybe wait a little bit before the marketplace gets to that point. But right now, if you're selling a generic standard product, you'll typically be doing about 10 to 20% of your sales on Amazon and Walmart. That's fantastic. I mean, there's very few other channels that with the minimum effort that you put in, you could see those results. You could definitely even potentially surpass your Amazon sales if you have a great DTC network, but that requires a bunch of outside traffic using social media and so much versus adding on Walmart is pretty much just another way. You're already doing so many other steps on Amazon. It's just sending the inventory to Walmart and you're just increasing your sales by 10 to 20%, but that's something you have to put in the effort. And it's also the long term is really the play there. Walmart is growing at an insane rate compared to Amazon, and within a few years, we'll probably see it being much more of a stronger player in the game. Right now, I think they're number two, but I think they're going to continue to how strong of number two they are compared to Amazon, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, for sure. And is there any more opportunities that Walmart.com offers that you didn't mention yet?
I mean, for sure. Walmart is, I would say, the place of opportunity. So many people ask, hey, what are the Walmart hacks? Walmart is a hack. Walmart itself is just get on the Walmart train and you'll see just a huge opportunity for you as a seller to just increase your revenue immediately. And it's somewhere also to grow in the future. How many of you guys have been selling on Amazon for a while or just wish you would have been selling 7 years ago on Amazon? Imagine you had the opportunity today to be okay, I'm going to start Amazon as it was then, and everything you know now. That's where Walmart is. You know what you know. You're a seller. You've been doing this for a while. That's what Walmart is. Just get in now, use those tactics that you've learned, and you'll see that growth. And Walmart's kind of slight advantage over Amazon in a sense is the opportunity to get into stores. That's such a big thing for sellers is, you could be doing really well with selling online, but once you start getting into those retail POs, you could increase your revenue insanely. That's something that Amazon, yeah, they do have vendor, but it's nothing compared to the network of brick and mortar stores that is Walmart. They're the number one, they're the number one seller in existence for the past 20 years. They've been the number one revenue company in the world. Yeah. So
let's talk about a little bit about the MAP pricing on Amazon. So most people know that when on Amazon, if you have a product that's $20 and then on Walmart, you have the same exact product for a lower amount, that you'll end up losing the buy box because you're not the best amount. the cheapest amount. How do you handle the MAP pricing enforcement on Walmart to make it where the Amazon sales don't end up being lost?
So both marketplaces, I think, are actually being pretty fair about this. They both monitor the sales or not the sales, the price on the other platform, and will ding you accordingly. Like if Walmart marries up your listing to an ASIN that's actually cheaper than your product, they'll remove your listing. And Amazon, similarly, if you're too much below on Walmart, they'll remove your buy box. So the key is just keep consistent pricing between both platforms. That's the goal. If you some people like want to maybe increase their pricing on Walmart or decrease their pricing on Walmart just to get a head start. If you want to do that, you could set up a different UPC. Typically, Amazon uses the UPC to track between the two marketplaces. So if you set up a different UPC for Walmart, that is something that you could use to kind of circumvent that. And if they potentially won't track Amazon, and Amazon will potentially track you, but I think that's something that might have a limited life because eventually Amazon could catch on, or maybe something you could continue to do. But if you have, let's say, any sort of outside traffic, that could be a method to, let's say, grow your Walmart sales. If you have, let's say, $3 cheaper on Walmart compared to Amazon, using, let's say, a different UPC, you could drive more sales to there if you have, let's say, an article where it shows the pricing between the two platforms and you're cheaper on Walmart. But overall, I would say try to stay consistent with your pricing because you don't want to risk your Amazon sales for Walmart. It's typically not worth it just due to how big your Amazon sales are comparatively. It's just not worth that risk. And same thing on the other side, like don't stint your Walmart sales by having cheaper pricing on Amazon.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And what are some common mistakes that you see people that end up going on Amazon make with their expectation of selling on Walmart?
For sure. So another very classic, this is typically who we deal with. So many of our clients come to us and like, I've been selling on Walmart for years and I do 2% of my sales. What are you talking to me, 10 to 20%? And I look at their listings and there's no work being done. You have to understand that it's another marketplace that requires the same level of work that you put into Amazon in Walmart. It's hard to do because in Amazon, you see that payout immediately. You launch a listing, it's killing it, versus on Walmart, you put it in and it's maybe not doing as much in sales, but it's an investment. You really have to understand the investment there. The same amount of energy and effort that you put into making sure that your Amazon listing is beautiful. It has the perfect copy written specifically for Amazon. Walmart has those same guidelines. Walmart doesn't want the title you have in Amazon or the description you have in Amazon. They want something catered towards it. They have the style guides. They give you a score. They tell you what you're supposed to do. Yet so many sellers just like, yeah, I'll just use my Amazon copy. That's not going to work. Walmart doesn't want that, so don't do it. And like something as simple as just looking at your category path or your product type, which is automatically selected by Walmart, people just disregard that. And I've seen products which are completely miscategorized. And like, it's not making any sales because if you're categorized incorrectly, you're not going to be able to rank for keywords. So it's important to just focus on the little details, even more important than the copy potentially, because the copy, drives sales to certain keywords. But if you can't even rank for the keyword in the first place, having the best copy in the world is not going to help you. So it's really important just look, do the work, put in the effort to actually make sure that you care about that listing, because it's such a baby right now. It's a baby that you really have to make sure and groom it. That it's going to be a healthy child, and then eventually an adult when Walmart does become that behemoth of a marketplace that it's growing into.
So when you say do the work, I'd love for you to go into what are the top 3 things that a Walmart seller needs to be working on to make sure their listings are perfect. When it comes to listing optimization, what are the top 3 things they need to focus on to put in the work with what you're saying?
Sure. So definitely. So Walmart actually they're very good at giving you information on what to do. They give every listing what's called a listing quality score, which is comprised of 3 factors: content and discoverability, offer score, and then ratings and reviews. So, and they're each given a weighted metric. The highest one, almost consistently across all listings, is the offer score, which is broken down to 3 factors. You want to make sure your pricing is consistent with Amazon, or if anything, a little bit cheaper, but that doesn't help to be cheaper. Same price works. Yeah. Your listing has what they call fast and free shipping, and your listing is in stock. Fast and free shipping, if you could do your own self-fulfilled 2-day shipping, that's great. definitely never do MCF. Like, don't use merchant fulfillment from Amazon. They'll shut your account down immediately. It's suspension, potentially termination, like not even worthwhile. Just
Good to
put in
know.
the effort. And, yeah, we've got like somebody be like, yeah, I sent in 1 unit, and like boom, that's it. Walmart uses the tracking number to see where it's shipped from. If they see it's coming from Amazon, it's gone. Like your account is down. I've heard a few people getting away with it, but don't. I highly recommend not testing your luck there, and just send in inventory to WFS. As simple as that is. You send it to FBA, send it to WFS. It's, if anything, the rates are slightly cheaper. Walmart even has a lot of incentives for new sellers to give you like discounts on like storage and fulfillment. If you look to sign up today and like grow on that front, and don't go crazy. Don't send in hundreds or thousands of units. Start with a case pack or two. Try sell them out. If it works, well, great. And obviously, don't send in units for something that you're not sure will succeed. Test the waters. That's always very important. And then number 3 is be in stock. It used to not be as big a deal at Walmart, but now it's one of the worst things to do is to run out of stock, because you're spending all that money on advertising to grow that listing and to gain that rank, and then you run out of stock. It's such a stupid mistake to make because it's so easily preventable. Just track, and worst case scenario, turn on FBM, turn on your own seller fulfillment. So worst case scenario, you just lose the fast shipping, but you still have some sort of stock, because that kills your ranking tremendously. So those things, keeping that offer score good is I would say one of the most important things. And then some other things like we mentioned before: review your product type, review your category pack, make sure those are done, and fill out the content they ask you. They say have a title, description, and attributes. Everyone misses attributes. Like, there's a whole list. They tell you fill out these 6 attributes. Just go in and fill it out. It's so simple. It takes you maybe 3 minutes per listing. And put in NA if you don't know. That's fine, as long as it's filled out, because they want that from you, and that's going to affect your listing score.
That's amazing. And what are some other ways to succeed on? So you talked about Amazon or the Walmart advertising. What are some ways to really succeed on the Walmart advertising standpoint?
Okay, there's some pretty basic strategies when it comes to advertising on Walmart. CPCs are, relatively, the base CPC for an auto is 20 cents and for manual is 30. You could pretty much win for a lot of keywords, surprisingly, at that base CPC level, just because of the lack of competition. So get, at least for your campaigns, get every listing. I would group it by like whatever the category is. Get at least 1 auto and 1 manual running. Pick some of your top keywords, throw it into the manual, and then make sure if you see something performing well in auto, put it into your manual. Very, very good idea is to understand that there's a difference in search volume between Walmart and Amazon. That's something very important to know. And there's different ratios. You'll see some products have 50% search volume on Walmart to Amazon, and some have 0.5%. So it's very important to do your research into which products have the accurate search volume and use that data to fuel your advertising. That's such a great way to move into that space. Something else, if you're, let's say, really trying to grow your brand awareness, is Walmart now offers sponsored banner ads for brands that are registered with their brand portal. The lowest CPC is $1, so it is a bit expensive, but from our experience, we've seen it always spend a lot. It's a really high spender, and typically that means there's a lot of impressions. It's a good way to grow, but we've seen the ROAS be under 1 to potentially 7 with some cases. It really varies on the category, but definitely I would suggest giving it a shot. And something new coming is sponsored video ads. Anytime you can get an edge on your competition by having something new like that, it's potentially worthwhile, because if someone's searching for like a hot keyword in your space and you're the only video on the page, like that's so huge. Maybe it will cost you more and you might not see the conversions, but use any advantage you could try. Like, always try some of the new things that they do offer. And obviously, if you see something just spending out of like just ridiculously and it's not performing, just shut it off. Like, it's ads are still like such a growing space. Like, even last year they brought on such basic ideas that Amazon's been having for years, like second price auction or variation advertising. Those are both new to Walmart, which is crazy to think about. But use that to your advantage. Make sure that you can play around with your CPCs, throw it up to $1, see if it's spending at $1. Someone else is also spending the same amount. Just see what's going on, and then test out your variations. You want to see potentially, previously it was only your parent variation that you could advertise. Now, maybe you'll learn that your 2-pack does way better than your 1-pack, and maybe that should be your parent SKU. Like you can just see different things that do well through your advertising data. I'd say that's probably the best ideas for advertising, but advertising is such a huge game, like we're seeing, of course, in Amazon. It's the way to succeed. So definitely make sure you are running ads. Thinking you're going to just win organically is something that's really starting to fail. There are many brands that have been selling organically for years, and now their sales are dropping. And like, what happened? It's because the competition is here. Other sellers are here now, and they're spending. So if you're not spending, you're going to be slowly falling out of the top.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk about, you touched on variations when it comes to on Walmart. Is there any difference between Amazon variations and Walmart variations that people should know?
Yeah, definitely. So the way Walmart has variations structured is there are a little bit of a naming structure when it comes to, let's say, the variations you're allowed. The way it's done is based on category. Similarly, right? Each category has a limited option for variations. Like there's no variation called style, which is very common on Amazon. A lot of people throw, oh, it's a microphone, and then there's a microphone with a wind, whatever they're called, for the style variation. That doesn't exist on Walmart. There's nothing as style. And what I would say is a lot of people on Amazon, they use the success of a listing to throw on a variation to bring success to that other listing. On Walmart, generally I say stay away from variations unless it's a basic variation. When I say a basic variation, I mean color, size, pack, flavor, like something that is obviously the same. But something that's like maybe a little bit different. It's a different, it could even be potentially in a pack. Let's say you have a really big bottle on a small bottle of something. Keep it as 2 separate listings. It doesn't hurt because you're anyways going to be spending ads for both. And this way you can at least gain rank on 2. There's very, very few, I should say, very few categories that are super competitive that you're not going to see success with the second variation. If you keep them separate, you could typically see both grow and you'll be able to take up more shelf space, which is something that is very valuable. There's eating up as much real estate as you can is huge. But when it comes to something like a basic color variation, pretty much stick those together. That's pretty much as basic as it's going to get. Play around with the sizes and the pack variations as you see fit, but typically don't group together random ones. Also, interestingly enough, Walmart's been messing around with like their AI that like picks up the background of a listing to see if it's even a suitable variation. And they will restrict the variation from existing. They'll just break it up if they think that it's 2 different listings based on the copy and like a lot of like the categorization. They even have there's some bugs right now. Like if one of your products isn't WFS and one isn't, we've seen cases where they just split up the listing even though it's exactly the same. So wow. I think that's just a glitch on Walmart right now. I mean, that's just another whole topic is like how much Walmart is optimizing and updating constantly. So they're always adding in new things. And whenever you add in something, maybe it works 85% of the time, but 50% of the time just causes problems. So, but they're working on it. They're always trying to fix that small amount. But at the rate they're growing, they're going to have problems. So that's fine. As long as you're aware of them and just know how to avoid the issues that exist.
There would never be glitches on Walmart or Amazon. Nope, you're wrong. You're just wrong. I'm sorry, David. You're wrong. Everyone knows that there's a lot of glitches. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I wanted to touch on making changes on Walmart, how that's different from Amazon. So, listing changes. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So everyone loves to talk about flat files on Amazon. Like, oh, they're the worst, like very difficult to deal with, like having your flat files in order is really difficult. And, personally, I have a lot more experience in Walmart than Amazon just because of how the natures of things now. But I will say for guaranteed, Amazon flat files are way easier than Amazon. People might have come to Walmart and like scarred from the flat files and like, I'll only do things through the UI. Give it a shot. They're much simpler to work with. Like, on Amazon, you have to work with the specific like keyword, and each like keyword has its own set of attributes. Walmart has 74 to 77, depending on the number of categories. flat files, and it's just by category. That's it. The category is category specific, so each category has its own set of attributes. There are even attributes that are not on the flat file, only existent in Walmart, whatever, that's something that they're trying to work on, but it's relatively simple to deal with. And maintenance files, that's what they call it, are really simple. You could just go in there, like add in your details, what you need to change. And there's even, well, Walmart has what's really nice. It's called a GTIM match. So when you go to update your listings, just grab your UPCs, throw them into the little search box, hit search. It'll take whatever 3 minutes to generate you a file. Export that file. It'll give you all the details that are currently live on the listing, copy, description, like everything in there, every attribute that you have filled out that's available, and especially sometimes, as we mentioned, there's attributes that aren't, but everything that is eligible in there, including the variation setup, mess around with that file. That file gives it all in front of you. You're looking through it. You notice the color's wrong. You notice the package wrong. Try fix it up to make it clean. Or if let's say you want to update it, whatever it is, I would say that's probably the easiest way to do it. The reason being is sometimes your files don't go through. Very common, you upload a file, it doesn't update. Why? Typically, just something error. Hey, they'll even tell you there was an error, and please try again. If it happens too many times, open the case, but typically after a couple times, those should work. If you were to manually go in there and retype the title in, or just even copy and paste it, you're gonna have to do that so many times. Let's say you're updating 5 listings, it's gonna take you forever. Versus just uploading a file 3 times takes you 2 seconds. It's much quicker to work with flat files, which is why I'm a big fan. But something to note is there might be content rights issues. It's just another thing to deal with on Walmart. If you see something not updating, it's probably someone has content rights on that. The only way to see that right now is if you click on a listing, you'll see a little like yellow or orange triangle with exclamation point in it telling you like there's content ranking. If you have that, you have to open up a case and you have to prove that you're the owner of the listing. Best case is through Brand Portal, but you can send them trademark documents, GS1 certificates. Those typically will work, but Brand Portal is like the surefire way to get it done. So it's always important to have like your legal docs in order before you try to do too much optimization, and make sure that you don't have any content right restrictions. That could be a major pain for a lot of Walmart sellers.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I have a question about the policies and map enforcement. So what if someone has the same UPC on Amazon? Let's say it's the same product, okay? Same UPC. And let's say that Walmart is a $15 price point and Amazon's a $20 price point. And how, if there's only one seller on the listing, will Amazon just shut down the listing? Or how does that work really? I wanted to ask that.
Sure. So that's interesting. You're saying like, let's say somebody else is selling the product on Amazon. It's not you. Like for like, let's say a resale product.
Let's say someone else is selling it on Walmart that isn't you.
Okay, so someone else is
selling it on Amazon.
So if it's, let's say, a private label listing, they're probably, if you own the listing and they're like illegally selling it, so to speak, you could get the listing copyright and just struck down if it's not you selling it. It's a little bit of a difficult space to be in. Typically, I haven't really seen too many sellers with this issue, because if you're selling it for $20 on Amazon, how's this guy selling it for $15 on Walmart? Like he has to have sourced it at a better price. So unless he's selling a counterfeit product, which in that case you could either file a cease and desist. But I think the easiest is either get on there yourself and send it into WFS. Very rarely are they sending it into WFS, or just take down the listing entirely, file an active claim against it. But if you yourself are trying to sell it for cheaper on Walmart than on Amazon, like you're very much dealing with risking that. And I'm not sure if it's like, I think I've heard of this before. Like some people like try and target Amazon sellers, their competitors, to try to ruin their listings by throwing up a garbage product on Walmart at a cheaper price. I haven't necessarily seen the success with it. I mean, I'm not trying it myself to see that. So, but I haven't. I've been dealing with Walmart for a bit now. Like I very rarely hear a seller. It's like my listings are down on Amazon because some guy's selling it on Walmart for cheap. Like I haven't heard that complaint. So if that is something that comes up, I would just suggest try to take down that listing through Brand Portal. You don't even have to have registered Brand Portal. There's actually, if you go to, I could get the exact link. I think it's like something like IP claim like .walmart.com. It's like Brandportal.walmart. If you go to brandportal.walmart.com, I think there's an ability to to file a claim without actually being registered. But there's an exact link for it I could look through to get the exact link to just file it without actually being registered.
Yeah, and I want to go into the future of Walmart as well. Where do you really see it going, and where do you start seeing where a lot of sales are start coming in as well?
Yeah, I live for the future of Walmart. You know, that's what our company revolves around. So we're definitely some of the top supporters of Walmart.com. We have seen growth of so many brands just in the past few years. Like, you know, we launched in July of 2021, so almost 2 years now, and we've been dealing with Walmart for years before that. And just almost consistently, we're seeing a month-over-month growth, or just we've seen definitely growth year-over-year. You know, that's definitely where you see the growth, as long as you're competing and like staying relevant with your products. So Walmart as a marketplace itself has had almost about 100% year-over-year growth for the past 3 years, which compared to Amazon, total in the past 3 years only grew 30%, which is still big, but like it's not on the same level as Walmart's growing. Obviously, it's fractional on Walmart, their online sales compared to Amazon's, but they're really working and pushing and developing. And actually, where Walmart's seeing a lot of success, interestingly enough, is recently with sellers. In the past year, they've had a 40% increase in sellers, which doesn't necessarily correlate to a 40% increase in customer base. That's just something interesting to factor in, that it is getting much more competitive quickly because so many people are realizing this opportunity. But what I would say is, if you give Walmart another 2 years or so, that 10 to 20% is going to quickly grow to 20, 30%. And I would say within the next 10 years, potentially even less, I would hope even potentially 5 years, we're going to see it be close to that 40 to 50% of the market share at the rate they're going and at the work they're putting in to be that competitive to Amazon. Let me give you some ways why Walmart potentially has that ability to beat Amazon, so to speak. So first, Walmart's not a pioneer. Amazon was a pioneer here. They really they figured out this opportunity, and they really worked on it to like clean it up, like get this is what we're gonna do, right? And this is what we do. And let's be real, Amazon's the king. You buy something online, you're going to Amazon first. I'm a big Walmart fan. Don't tell anyone, I still go to Amazon.com to buy my stuff. Like, obviously, you just know you're gonna get exactly what you're getting when you go there. Now, with Walmart, they're able to look at what Amazon kind of fails in, and it's able to veer away from those things. Let's say a big issue with potential, like a lot of like knockoff sellers, or just like any sort of like just they're a lot more restricted with who they allow. Firstly, Amazon has millions of sellers, right? Walmart's a lot more restrictive of who they accept. They have to go through a much more strict business verification. They used to be much stricter, but even since they've gone more lax, they're still much more strict compared to that of Amazon. They're able to see where potentially Amazon has failed in certain areas. Potentially, like when I look at Amazon, I very rarely look at a title of something because the title is just so stuffed with keywords that it's not readable. I look at pictures, you know, as everyone else does, or watch a video, you know. That helps me know what the product is versus reading through this unreadable title. So Walmart's like, we don't like that. We want a 100 character title or 85 characters, depending on the category, that's easily readable. Oh, that's what it is? Perfect. I get what that is. I could buy that. You read through the description, it looks clean. You know, they're trying to avoid some issues that Amazon had, where people were just trying to beat the algorithm instead of actually making it a nice, clean website. So that's like on that front. Then if you look at, let's say, the fulfillment side of things, I think that's where Walmart really has the ability to kill, because first, Walmart has more warehouses in the United States than any company in existence. There's a Walmart within 50 miles of every person in the United States. There's a Walmart there. So Amazon, yes, they're doing better right now with Prime, and they're able to offer overnight shipping on so many items. And I don't know, I personally don't think Amazon Prime Now necessarily succeeded. Like, they've been trying to do Prime Now for a while, get you your product in 2 to 4 hours. I mean, it works maybe in some big cities, but it's not the norm. How many of us purchase products and we're getting our product in 4 hours? I mean, I think it's a ridiculous idea, and that would be really nice to have, but it's not really feasible. But potentially for something like Walmart, where they have DCs and stores within 50 miles, which is, I mean, unless there's really bad traffic, it's typically about an hour drive. Like, you have that potential ability of, at least definitely to start in the major cities, of getting your products in a few hours. They are converting so many of their stores and their warehouses to have a section for WFS. So there is that huge opportunity just to be on the fulfillment aspect, and the reach that they have, like just from their pickup and delivery, like they sell so much, so they have so much opportunity to just leverage their own clients and their customer base to push them more to .com as much as they can, turn the pickup and delivery into also 3P items, like having that ability, just like you want to have delivery to your house for your groceries, why don't you also buy this toy bike, whatever, I don't know, whatever product you're selling, right?
Yeah.
You have that ability to really grow the 3P space into much more of that 1P venue, which they do what, 600 billion a year in sales. Amazon has insane sales, but so much of the revenue is coming from outside sources like AWS, right? That's a huge part of their revenue, so it doesn't necessarily equal their sales, which Walmart is almost purely sales. Walmart is just a behemoth when it comes to just making those. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see what comes up. I mean, if Walmart beats Amazon, I would be really, really happy from my perspective, just because I'm Walmart trained so hard. But I don't know. I hope that happens, but I don't necessarily see that being so feasible, at least in the short term. But you never know.
Yeah, for sure. And unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. I know we can go on for 7 more hours. David, please tell them how to find you and how to find more about your business.
Of course. Thank you. So you can find out more about us at sellcord.co. That's sellcord.co. You can email me directly, david@sellcord.co, info@sellcord.co, whatever you'd like. You could come to us. We'll help you with really anything on the Walmart front, whether it comes to optimizing your listings, managing PPC, rich media hosting, which is their version of like EBC, videos. Really anything you need help in terms of Walmart, even help on the account front. You can't get approved, you're trying to get approved, hit us up, sellcord.co. You'll find all the information there. Sign up for our mailing list.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining, David. And this is the Marketing Perspective Podcast. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll catch you next time.